What is the difference? Just because you want to have some different names? Very old is ancient, beach wala medieval, madhya, and aajkal ka modern. Is that so? Is there any logic behind these terms? There is some logic. It may not be very good logic or the logic that you would approve of today, but there is a logic. This idea of tripartite division of history actually arose in Europe. In Europe. And when did it arise? It arose in the 17th, 18th century. Why? Because Europeans were becoming conscious कि हम बेहतर है पुरखों से. Europeans were getting conscious that we are finishing the dark age. हमारे पुरखे जो थे वो तो it was rule of church, it was feudal era, it was agrarian era, it was backwardness, there is no progress. ये सब dark age है. इस dark age से हम निकल के आगे आएंगे. So what was just before us was dark, and now we are modern. But we were not always dark. Back in the times, in the Greek era, in the Rome era, we were very progressive. So ये जो terms आए पहली बार, they were value laden terms. They were judgmental terms. कि we are very progressive today. This was a dark age, and back in the time, very very far away in time, we were having a golden age. तो एंशियंट मतलब प्रोग्रेसिव, मिडिल मतलब डार्क एज, नुकसान, मारकाट, एंड मॉडर्न मतलब अब दोबारा प्रगति शुरू हुई है. ये अवधारणा थी. दैट वाज द नोशन ऑफ यूरोपियंस व्हेन दे स्टार्टेड दिस. इज इट रियली ट्रू? इट्स नॉट रियली ट्रू. कैन यू से दैट एंशियंट इंडिया वाज ऑल ग्रेट? नो. एंड वाज medieval all backward? No. And is modern all good? Not necessarily. It also created World War I, World War II, right? So the point is, in its own origin, European context, also it was a very wrong framework of studying history, but it was brought to India, enforced upon us. We never saw history in this way. We saw history in type of Kali Yug, Satya Yug, Dwapar Yug, Treta Yug. अपना notion अलग था. Circular time at longer level, Kalpa, Manu, etc. And within that circular, we have linear time also. Different way of thinking of time. When British came to India, they imposed this thinking upon us. In 1818, a great book came, History of British India. Mill, James Mill. If you are from political science, you study him. His son rather. Father son दोनों थे Mill and Mill. Father was in the service of his East India Company. He never came to India, but he wrote a magisterial history of India. And in that, he said कि India में we have three periods. What are those? He said we have Hindu period, we have Muslim period, and we have British period. Even you can say it's nonsense. What is Hindu period? As if in ancient India everything is Hindu. What about Buddhists? What about Jain? What about tribal? And if do you want to say all kings were Hindu? No, nonsense. If you come to medieval, what is Muslim? Then where do I put Vijayanagar Empire? Where do I put Marathas, Gajapatis, Kakatiyas, Hoysalas, Yadavas? And even can I say that Mughals, for example, Akbar, was he a Muslim leader? Well, even chalo, some of you may say he was a Muslim leader. Does it mean it becomes Muslim era? राजा के धर्म से क्या समाज का धर्म डिसाइड होता है? तो किसके नाम को हम तवज्जो दें? Whose religion should matter? King's religion or people's religion? No, nobody's. Why should religion matter in deciding historical era? Is it the only identity that you have? Is it the most defining characteristic that you have? The very idea that you have to use religion to talk about the era is a communal thinking. It is a communal thinking. We have to go beyond that, to grow beyond that. सो नेशनल हिस्टोरियन ने कहा ये सब बकवास है. तो वी हैव आफ्टर ब्रिटिश एरा इंडियन हिस्टोरियंस कमिंग एंड सेइंग कि हम इसको नहीं मानते, वी डोंट अग्री विद दिस. इफ यू अग्री विद दिस, तो बाय दिस लॉजिक इट शुड बी क्रिश्चियन एरा. but we don't have a Christian era in India. Now you can see the absurdity of this logic. So it is also not wrong, not right. So Indian historians went back to calling it again ancient, medieval, and modern, which we use even today. But the problem remains. Ancient matlab golden age and middle matlab markat. Is it true? As if in ancient India you don't have market? We have market. And medieval is not dark age. In India, in medieval time, we have a lot of जब कबीर है और तुलसी है, उसको आप dark age कहोगे? Can't call it dark age. इतने बड़े-बड़े मंदिर बनाए जा रहे हैं. It's full of science. It's not a dark age. So my point is that आप और मैं, the languages that we speak at home in public today, vernacular languages, these are all the creation of medieval times. These languages were not in the ancient times. क्या ये डार्क एज के लैंग्वेजेस है? इतने बैकवर्ड लैंग्वेजेस है? हिंदी, मराठी जो कुछ हो? नहीं, उनमें भी अपना बड़ा साहित्य है. So is it a dark age? It's not a dark age. So we don't accept the value judgment that comes with ancient as great, medieval as dark age. But again, we need some periods. What can we do? We don't have much option. तो ये नाम अभी तक चले आ रहे हैं, चले आ रहे हैं. Now what do we do? We have to study this under this. इसमें एक गड़बड़ क्या होती है? I'll tell you one more interesting thing. Historians try to go and define the boundaries. अच्छा, कौन सा ईयर है when ancient ended, medieval started? बताओ. Which is that year? Which is that event? Which is that epoch when the things changed? है ना? So this is again a communal thinking. I'm not calling you communal. I'm sorry, but the main point is that this is how think. अगर आपने 1206 1206 the establishment from दिल्ली सल्तनत माना कि this is the beginning of medieval, मतलब it's a Muslim period only. नाम बदला लेकिन कॉन्सेप्ट वही रह गया फिर तो. And that's not what you are doing. That's happened in historians circle also for many decades. They changed the name. We don't want to be religious and communal, but dates वही रह गए 1206. But now over last 50-70 years things have changed. Now we don't go for one single pivotal event, we go for transition zone. So what we have now is something called as early medieval, something called as early modern. So we have these phases. There is no sudden abrupt transition. In ancient India, we start from the very beginning of Harappa and Vedic era, and gradually there is evolution that goes up to the pinnacle, that is the Gupta age. And then the ancient India ends. From the post-Gupta era, we have beginning that goes till here. This is a time zone of about 600-700 saal. We call it early medieval. Similarly, here we have some people even put Mughal Empire as early modern now, not medieval. It's British are coming, Europeans are coming, modern bureaucracy, or rationality, all things are visible in Mughal Empire also. So Isvisan 1700, 1800 are now called as early modern. Global trade hai, etc. And in modern times, and today we have supposedly post-modern era. So now these things are coming up.